So DMT will be on the blue side this time. Revenant Steel will be starting that red side. We're going to instantly see a Kha'Zix ban. I think the assassin junglers are more popular right now. They have a better
Honey
standing.
Badger certainly does not want to deal with any early game threat right off the bat, going to take away Flacker's option there. And it looks like in a retaliation, they're going to be getting rid of Drew Storm's Nami. Not a fan of that. Arctic certainly does not want to deal with anything on that notion. Interesting, though. Interesting couple of bans. Nothing really aggressive here.
It's definitely, they're both respect bans. Nami's not necessarily a high prioritized support. The two supports that you would normally see is going to be Braum and Alistar. Pretty much 85% of the time. But we're going to see Ahri and LeBlanc. Again, I have to imagine they're not going to let Graham get the Ahri. And they're not going to let LeBlanc fall into anyone's hands if possible.
Yeah,
right.
Aimbot definitely is happy to know Graham's not going to be on the top of his game with his pick of choice. So they're kind of really debating this last one. Rakan seems to be the choice for DMT.
And we're going to see Urgot. Urgot just a good overall ban. Although I don't know if how well he fares into Victor in the top lane. I haven't seen that matchup yet.
So name is Nidalee. I find that really nice that you combine Talia and Nidalee. That's a good name. I like it. Nocturne secured for Honey Badger right off the bat.
We'll have to see if he uses the Paranoia well. Are they going to get the Braum Lucian combo?
It appears so. Lucian has already been hovered and secured. No, actually looking for a Thresh, and they'll secure it instantly.
That's one of Arctic's champions right there. He likes the Thresh.
Well, he's gonna feel really good about that option. Lucian Thresh is a great synergized combo. They can really capitalize on each other's moves very quickly. That's gonna be a dangerous threat for Drew to deal with in the bot lane. Skew Dribble? Skew Dribble. That's
Dribble.
Hard. Oh, wow, that's gonna be a difficult name for me. But anyway, Galio, Alistar secured here. They've got their mid and their support option. Right off the bat, I feel it'll be a little difficult for an Alistar to make an engage against a Thresh Lucian. See what happens. Graham is now sitting on the last choice here. They know about what Galio is going to be doing in the mid lane choice. So,
Well, the Alistar is actually fairly well into Thresh because even if he gets hooked up post level 6, he can just ult out of it and then continue his own engage. So it's not really an issue. Thresh doesn't have the longest range either, and his abilities don't go through champions. So as long as Drew Storm has good positioning, he should be fine. Even if Arctic does decide to, if he lands the hook and decides to continue to engage, obviously playing on the Alistar, you have the pulverized headbutt, so you can just completely disengage the entire situation as well. But we're going to see Flaker with the Zin's out. We're going to see an Aatrox instantly banned out. Aatrox being one of the more annoying top laners to deal with right now. And
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was just trying to say that it seems to be a mid lane focus for DTM. They definitely want to make sure Graham is going to be as far away from his choice of option as possible to keep him off of his good game against Aimbot. And I think that's a very wise decision. Although, against the Galio in the mid lane here, there's not a lot of champions that can really push their way through a Galio and do a really nice job unless you're talking about a top laning choice really or something.
Oh,
wait a second. Yes, one of their players must have left. Maybe an accidental pick, perhaps?
That was weird.
Indeed it was. Seems like an accident. Not entirely sure. One of your guys was ghosting our streamer. Never heard that excuse before by a teammate.
Oh, they were stream sniping apparently.
Stream sniping? Wait a moment. How are you able to stream snipe? I mean, you would have to be streaming while you're in the game. Like, I'm not sure how that would... How does that work exactly? How does stream sniping work? for some of the audience who probably doesn't know.
You could at least in pick ban phase, you can at least see what summoner spells they're taking, at the very minimum.
Oh wow, yeah, I would imagine that. I mean, that's somewhat of a certain ruling. I'd imagine that would be a little unfair to know about the summoners because it kind of tells you a little bit where the direction that they would be going. But that seems kind of like a small.
Oh, okay. So it looks like Arctic was on his own Twitch account streaming, and I guess they happened to pop into his. Same thing though. You could hear. Okay, for that one, they would see the summer spells, but they could hear the comms of what their plans are and their strategy is going to be.
Okay. Well then, my question is on that notion. Although I'm not familiar with the rules, I do think that that's extremely unfair to get any type of advantage whatsoever in the pre-game set. But why would you even bother streaming? And just why would you even bother streaming when you know there's a stream already going on about the game you're already playing, Arctic?
Maybe you could be using it for coaching purposes and things like that. Maybe to watch himself later on to see what he could do differently in the lane. Because it's one thing to, it's one thing to like see the overall view, right? Because like a lot of times when you watch, like when you spectate, you see, you're like, why would they do this? But then it's like, well, they have the Falk Award. They may not have known, such and such was there at this time.
Right.
So for the same reason as you want to go back over your own stuff and you're like, oh man, maybe I should have done this a little bit differently. Maybe I should have done this a little bit differently without seeing the overall picture because it's two different set of eyes at that point.
Yeah, again though, just as an audience member at home with a certain opinion, they would probably be like, well, yeah, I could see why the importance is of gathering information during games or understanding certain cues and everything like that, but if you're just going to leave the stream open for those type of opportunities and possibilities, wouldn't you just prefer to use the streams, use the stream that's already going on like right now and just have that be your video for understanding what's going on?
That's what I mean, is because when Arctic streams it, he's only going to see his character and everything that he's doing, right? So when he goes to review it, he sees what he sees again. If he watches the review of this, he has the overall picture. So he's like, oh, well, he sees the enemy jungle coming already. And it's like, well, I should definitely not have done that. But it's like, well, I don't know if he's coming then or not type of thing. Like, he's probably going to use it to see, like, what he could have done better in lane, how he could have positioned maybe a little bit better during certain situations, and stuff like that.
It just, I don't know, to me, it just kind of sounds rather bizarre, to give away information in general like that. It just, to have anything on that notion of anything, you think you'd be more concerned and worried about, like, pick and phase and everything else. Oh, wow, yeah, I've seen this happen a few times before, but I think that's just more of a visual bug. I don't think that's actually...
It's fine.
We know exactly what they picked prior to that point. So
yeah, it's a fresh draft. It's a fresh draft, though.
Right. Yeah.
So they're gonna stick with the Kazakhstan.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, never really ran into a situation quite like this one before when it came to like a person who's streaming. You think if it's someone streaming the game, you'd want to not to do so just because it gives away information to just anybody who happened to be watching or happened to be seeing. Yeah. But I guess that's exactly why there's probably a rule in place where you can do that and see specifically what's going on. But I thought it's like, how are you going to hide when people could be watching it or something? So, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm both ways on that type of thing because there's been people getting banned from Fortnite because they would stream snipe while playing. And it's like, well, if you're Ninja or somebody and you're that popular, it's going to happen. Like, you can't stream and expect it not to happen. At the same time, there's no technical rule saying you can't do that, right? There's no rule. Not that I've heard of.
Okay, well that is actually rather interesting. You would expect something of a rule. If anybody would ever do that, you think there would be a rule that would come up to fix that type of situation. But okay, well, I mean, hey, I'm first day on the job. I'm just a little curious about the ruling.
Well, I mean, for here, there probably is I don't know if there's a rule for here. I'm talking about just in general for Fortnite
Oh, in
itself.
general, right? Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Definitely, you're correct then.
yeah, there's no real rule, and the thing is about that. The thing is like if let's say Ninja is your favorite streamer and you happen to be watching him, you just happen to be in the same game, like where you're gonna turn it off just because like I don't know these people. But we're gonna see the
Right.
same exact pickup, so I guess it doesn't matter that they were doing a fresh draft or not. It's the same exact picks and bans,
Yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of out of
I
order.
imagine. Yeah, I'd imagine it would be a repeat of what happened previous to that point. Usually there are some rules that essentially in some competitive series that I've been a part of anyway, that says if anybody ever does a reset, you got to take the same champions and same bans you did that time up until the point where you left.
Well, they're gonna
So,
do a
Graham
they wanted to do
will
a
be
fresh
resecuring to
draft.
Zhao, looks like.
They wanted to do a fresh one because that way their strategy wasn't given away.
Right,
So I
right.
don't know how much of the strategy they were really talking about, but it looks like they're just gonna stick with the same stuff. Maybe they said another something else and I didn't catch it. But
Mhm.
yeah, so far it's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna see the Zareth ban. Um,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Wacky first episode for
Oh,
Army
we see
Overlord.
Zaya. Was Zaya banned last time?
I believe that one. No, they didn't. I didn't think they got to that point. I think that's when somebody left. I
No,
think
because Rakan, not
Zaya
Rakan,
was.
but I thought, or was it
Yeah,
Victor
Rakan
being
was banned,
banned?
then Zerath was banned, and then that's when somebody left. That's how I remember it from the top of my head. Then,
Hmm.
so that means Zaya would have been the one they picked, and then Kennen. Okay. I say Kai'Sa seems like a pretty good choice right about now for the Alistar Nocturne group. They could just really jump on a single target super quick and take them out. Lux seems to be hovered here by Storm.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't get rid of Shen. Shen being very, very strong with a Nocturne pick and the Paranoia. But we're going to see Lux being locked in for Graham.
Certainly waited a long time for that. I don't know if they were still talking about whether they wanted Lux or not. Seems like they had to make a last-second secure of it, though. So let's hope that that's intentional and not the other way around. They do not seem to have a lot of AoE here other than the Lucian and Lux of it. So it is kind of interesting to see that they definitely have some sort of plan in mind. I don't know what they're going to do about this engage strat. As they secure Sivir, they're definitely looking for a rush them as fast as we can and overwhelm them before they can make a play out of it.
Well, the
For the
Sivir
side of
does really
DMT.
good because with the ult you can keep up with Honey Badger when he uses the Paranoia. So it'll be able to allow Skewed, Gerbil, and Drew Storm to basically get in there. But we're gonna see I've seen this before, so they do lock in the Shem. So it's gonna be a huge combo on whoever the Paranoia is on. Revenant Steel is gonna have to really watch out for this. As soon as Honey Badger goes in, you're gonna see Aimbot and Nidalia follow up right on top of that.
Seeing a Cho'Gath come up on the next choice versus a Shen here. Definitely going to try to get a better secure objective control here. With a Cho'Gath, you have essentially two smites. And they're definitely going to make objectives definitely a good focus, I would imagine, for the side of Revenant Steel.
I think
They're
with
going to
the
try to make the most of what they got, but honestly, the team that they have right now, I think Nocturne has the edge against Zhao, and Galio can just survive the lane. Cho'Gath and Shen, well, it's going to be a split push battle between the two of them for sure, and a Sivir Alistar. One side appears to have the side of confidence and engage, throw ourselves right at the enemy, overrun them before they make the play, while the other side is, if we can get a good catch, we can make a great play out of it and start making a snowball happen. I feel confident in DMT's strategy right now. I'm leaning towards them. What do you think?
they should have a lot much they should have much better team fight as the game goes later. As long as Winspar doesn't get too many stacks on him, because he's gonna constantly be looking for that HP gain. As far as the early game goes, I definitely think Revenants still have it. Lucian's a very strong early mid game champion, and people sleep on the Lux, but we'll have to see if this is a glacial augment Lux that I've seen a couple times, or if it's just going to be the traditional, just full AP on the mark. But we do see
find Graham's decision to go heal a bit interesting. I usually see Luxes usually run around with a barrier or trying to get some extra protection for that factor here. I think he just wants to have an extra secured movement speed increase for the heal factor. I think barrier's a bit better for Lux considering the W and how strong that is. But from what I can tell here, Graham's definitely going in with his own confidence with the heal. So he must really want to stay alive and give himself the extra speed he needs to get out of a sticky jam that might be when the Nocturne shows up.
I think the heal is better anyway during team fights because even though Storm does have the heal as well, depending on how Honey Badger engages this and how the team is split up, you could definitely keep someone alive just long enough from the engage, provided by Honey Badger. So I mean that's the big thing is that we gotta realize is that once Honey Badger goes in
here, lockdown is going to be fantastic for Revenant Steel. And DMT is going to be really good at causing some havoc and get right onto the target very fast. So my question, again, as I repeat it, I'm favoring DMT here. I'm leaning a little bit towards their comp and style. You have any personal opinions on the Revenant Steel side, DMT? What do you think? Who do you feel a little bit lean towards if you say you didn't know any of these teammates or any of these players, if you had to just take a gander purely based off the champions they picked?
I have to go with Revenant Steel. The issue with the Nocturne pick is if it falls behind, the paranoia is almost useless. You go in, you'll instantly die. So Honey Badger's gonna have to make sure he stays on par or if not ahead. So as soon as he hits level 6, he's gonna have to utilize the paranoia very well. The other problem is some of these lanes aren't the easiest to gank. Even though Lux is not the most mobile champion, again, the heal will give it a little bit movement speed to dodge maybe the flash taunt by aimbot. You also have the snare out of Lux. You have the shield out of Lux. And top lane, a Cho'Gath's a Cho'Gath. He's not the easiest target in the world. And in the bot lane, you have Arctic, who can definitely peel off for Storm. So, I mean, we'll have to set to see how it turns out in the early game. The biggest factor is going to be Honey Badger, and if he is farmed up enough, and if the rest of the team is going to be able to follow up on the engage properly. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready to get into this first game of this best-of-3 series between Revenant Steel and DMT. On the blue side, we do have DMT with Nidalee on that Shen in the top lane. Honey Badger will be on that Nocturne in the jungle. Aimbot on the Galio in the mid lane. And Skew Gerbil and Drew Storm on the Silver Alistar in the bot. And on that red side is the very own Revenant Steel with Rinspar on the Cho'Gath in the top lane. Flaker with the Xin Zhao in the jungle. We see Graham on that Lux in the mid lane and Storm and Arctic on the Lucian Thresh.
I'm just going to say I just do not think I'll be able to get skewed Gerbil done and down perfectly. I just know I'm going to make a mistake somewhere along the way. So forgive me, man, in advance if you ever watch the video. I'm totally going to be extra sorry if I get your name wrong. So yes, all of it comes down to the early game for both sides here. As you were mentioning, Honey Badger will not be successful if he just does not make a big play early. And I think in the small scrimmages between Xin Zhao and Nocturne, I think wins those battles. At least if he times his spells very well, he should consistently win the battle against a 3v in a level 3 versus level 3. I think Nocturne would win that fight. I don't think Flaker will cause any fighting based off of that knowledge, but we'll certainly see if he will make some interesting plays at top or interesting plays at mid because of this.
I don't think Flaker's focus is going to be to gank Nidalee. His focus is more likely going to be to ensure... I think what he needs to do is to be around for the counter ganks more likely, because all 3 lanes is pretty hard to gank. You have the taunt from the Shen, you have the pulverized headbutt from Drew Storm on the Alistar, and then a Galio is a Galio. He could dash away himself. So they're going to be pretty hard to gank. So I think what needs to happen is Flaker just needs to try to bully out Honey Badger if he can. And then just follow up and keep good track of the enemy jungler. And if he's going to gank, we see Flaker there to just counter it.
So it looks like in the race between the buffs, it is Nocturne that wins the race early and looks to be going for the golems right off the bat, as Xin Zhao is seeming to be hovering. Now he's heading directly for the Scuttle Crab right off the bat. Interesting. No, wait a minute. It actually looks like he's going right for Galio right now.
Yeah, he's going to find Aimbot's in trouble. He does flash away, flash forward from Flaker, and Flaker's going to pick up the first blood. No, he stopped auto-attacking. He needed one. He only needed one auto. What was that?
I do not know. He just suddenly had a change of heart last second.
Alright, we're going to see the taunt, though. It looks like Winspar and Nidalee are going to fight it out. Winspar only level 1, though. He's just going to have to back away.
Aimbot, you got very lucky. I don't think you'll get lucky again, though. I've never seen a situation where somebody just says, nah, I'm just not going to kill you.
That was very strange. We see the talk come in. It looks like Nidalee is looking for that first blood Winspar. Winspar has to be careful here. The Shen is going to definitely out-damage you as a Cho'Gath until you at least, you know, get 1 or 2 items, get a couple stacks on you. So, he needs to be careful.
Wise decision by Nidalee, just trying to force that advantage that Shen has against a Cho'Gath early. Cho'Gath now a level behind thanks to all that pressure by Shen. Is definitely playing the top lane very correctly so far, trying to keep the Cho'Gath behind him, and that's essentially the best way you can take advantage of a situation like that. You were mentioning earlier about counter ganking and how important it would be to just keep it in a counter gank sense. However, if the lanes are losing, Xin Zhao cannot afford to allow these lanes to just win naturally. He has to be aggressive at some point. Let's hope, for his sake, Flaker makes the play.
The thing about it, though, is Winspar's not losing his lane. He's letting it just push into his tower. That's the safest spot for him to be. Last hitting should not be too much of an issue. Even if Nidalee tries to taunt under tower, that would pretty much almost secure his own death, as long as Winspar lands the knockups properly and throws the silence down. So him being pushed in is not too much of an issue. As you can see, he's only 3 CS behind right now. So, like,
however, all the mana on his champion is now gone, and this is exactly what Nidalee is trying to force the Cho'Gath to do. Is going to make the farming a lot more difficult for him at this point, as he is right now trying to keep the wave from underneath the tower and forcing himself to lose CS.
The thing about it, though, when you're playing on Cho'Gath is a lot of, like, when you play these certain type of lane matchups like this, like, your main point is just to get your ults. So for Winspar, he gets his ult. If Flaker does decide to gank and, you know, he can actually burst him down while he's pushed up like this, you know, when Winspar hits level 6, then that's a good stack. It's an easy stack for him to make. So, like, Winspar is not doing anything wrong. He's not in a bad situation right now. His main objective is just to survive and level. Being on the Shen is definitely going to be able to outpace him again until he gets an item or two. We'll have to see how they both itemize, if Nidalee is going to go for the Tiamat first or if he's going to build directly into a tank setup. So I'm not too worried about Winspar. The only time you have to really be concerned about him in the top lane at this moment in a 1v1 situation is if he were to be solo killed.
Well, let's keep that as an option at any point. Nidalee is definitely keeping Winspire on his toes, but light trading in bot lane right now. Ooh, barely misses the play on that. Oh boy, just Arctic slightly off target. Could have set up another quick trade for Storm. In any case, it looks like Zhao coming around the flank. He's going to try to make something on Galio.
Looking for aimbot, but you got the taunt. You got the taunt coming. He's going to get knocked up. Tries it. A good block by Flaker, but in the meantime, we got bot lane being engaged. You see the heal does come out. Drewstorm's going to flash away. Looks like aimbot's going to get away yet again, barely with his life.
Flaker, you know you're supposed to kill the enemy mid. Somehow he squeezes away again. I don't know how aimbot does it, but he is quite the fortunate guy.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's just hard to kill a Galio, but we see right now Winspar is level 6. He does have Nidalee pretty low, so he has to be careful. Arctic going in, gets the flail down. Skew Dribble must have the shield, but we got 4-man rotation down here. Drewstorm is... Oh, he gets the hook by Arctic. That's first blood for Flaker. Flaker's on to Honey Badger. That's a 4v2 right now. You see the flash forward. Honey Badger's going to die. That's a double kill in the bot lane. Revenant steal.
Great rotation. Absolutely what Steel needed to get that early lead, and that's going to be great for their mid game coming up. And they're going to add an Infernal Drake to that nice little, wonderful little pie that they're going to get out of that. That's a great rotation, great advantage that they took, and that's going to lead to big things to come. Aimbot's got one chance to steal this, but it's extremely low. They do not have Smite, however. He's got a small chance for the steal. They're going to try to pull it out to prevent any possibilities. Wise decision by Flaker.
Oh, man.
Hitboxes. Oh, boy, that was really close. You saw it for a split second there. Looked like the AoE was just going to nick it, but it was just an inch short, and Flaker made the wise decision to try to make it a free Infernal Drake for them. Could not ask for a better scenario for their situation.
Well, with that double kill in the bot lane, they knew that Honey Badger was down and he wasn't going to be back towards the Dragon Pit in time. They had enough damage with Flaker on the Xin and Storm on the Lucian to take the early Inferno. There was going to be no contest whatsoever. Even if Aimbot tried to steal it, it wasn't going to happen. So he does get the engage onto Graham. It's just going to basically push him out of lane at this point. Graham is running a little low on mana. We do see Honey Badger is level 6 now, so we have to see where he will turn his first Paranoia target.
So
he's looking mid. He's looking mid.
So far, everything you were mentioning has been true so far. Cho'Gath not exactly struggling too much. Oh, wait, as we take a quick double check of that. Never mind, Shen's actually building up quite the CS lead at this time. Cho'Gath's trying to force the wave in at this moment, as Shen's going for a small trade.
Yeah, but even if he has a CS lead, like both these top laners, they're it's not like you're playing a Fiora where you need that big CS lead. As long as Winspar doesn't die and he actually uses his TP play very well, he'll get the farm he needs. Again, the biggest downside or down factor is if he gets killed in lane, either in a 1v1 or if Honey Badger does Paranoia top lane. Now, he doesn't want to get so low in CS where he's like 40 or 50 down. Even 20 down is kind of bad right now.
Cho'Gath has no flash. Nocturne coming at the side. Galio coming up as well.
There's the Paranoia. They're going in. They're going to get the knockup, but here comes Aimbot. Yes, and there's a taunt coming in. The knockup, the taunt, the death. There, like I said, Winspar looking to die, but meanwhile, we did see a rotation of the bot lane. Drewstorm getting out with his life. Flaker having a hard time converting these ganks into kills.
As you mentioned, they just need a death in order to make this a bit more of a struggle for them.
But they're going to go under. Flaker dives the tower. We see the Shen ult coming out. But is it enough? Skew Gerbil is going to flash, but no, we see Storm flash forward. Looks like Arctic is in trouble. He's taking a lot of tower hits. Here comes the TP in, though, from Winspar. Can Storm get Drewstorm? No, he doesn't. And Winspar just TP'd for nothing at this point. There's the ult, and Graham will pick it up.
Oh, Graham out of nowhere with the laser strike. Oh, you gotta love that.
Good prediction. I mean, you had to imagine that that's where he would go to back. That's what most players do anyway. So it was a smart move, even if he didn't land it. But it looks like Winspar's in a lot of trouble. That's what you can't do right now. You see the Tiamat is on Nidalee 2 levels ahead of you, and you're just going to go down.
Yes, he is, and Nidalee cannot have a better scenario for him right now. Already able to be a part of nearly every kill in this. Actually, no, he was a part of every kill in this match. Fantastic job so far by his performances, forcing the Cho'Gath now behind by 30 CS and grabbing a bunch of kills early is going to be very good for his pressure in the later half of the game. And in the side of DTM is having a fantastic early start after that Infernal Drake loss.
I mean, they're only 1,000 gold ahead right now. The gold is pretty well spread out between the 3 carry potentials on the side of Revenant Steel. So they're not doing too bad as of now. I mean, most of the gold is on a top lane Shen. So, like, they're not in a bad scenario, right? Because all that's going to happen is Nidalee is just going to start bulking up since he's got his Titanic Hydra. You can't expect him to build too much more damage. So they're in a good spot right now. They do have the Infernal on their hands, so they obviously will have that more late game presence as it gets farther in. We do see Dragon's going to be up in another 2 minutes. And it's going to be a second Infernal, so we have to see if Revenant Steel pick the second one up or if DMT is going to be able to secure this.
Well, Steel is at this moment trying to get the bot lane to top. and they're sending Cho'Gath at the bot side, so they're already doing a lane swap here, even though none of the towers have really fallen, and none of the bot lane or top lane really gotten the edge yet against each other. So at this stage of the game, it is kind of interesting. Drew, I think, is about to
He's
walk
looking for
into
something. There's the paranoia. They're looking for somebody. He's just going to go into Arctic. You see the ult come out, though. Storm just going to lay it down. Arctic looking for the Flay. Got two. Is he going to get the hook on somebody? Flaker goes in, causes the flash from True Storm, but that's going to cost... Oh, Honey Badger's going to flash, actually. He's looking for the hook. He's going to land it on a creep, but here comes Skew Gerbil. We see the ult come in. Graham's here to make something happen, though. They go back in on Honey Badger, dodges it, but here's the ult from Galio, and he doesn't land on anybody. The two-man ult from Graham. That's a double kill. The hook comes out. It's going to go wide on aimbot.
Sniper performance by Graham.
There's the flash taunt. 3-man taunt. There's the knockup. Isn't enough, though. We see the heal come out. Looks like they're looking for aimbot. Flaker's going down, but aimbot's going to die as well. Storm will pick that one up.
Oh, Graham's having a fantastic fight so far. Still 2-level advantage from Nidalee at the bot side. But incredible play so far by everyone. Unfortunately, completely was not as well coordinated as it could have been. Aimbot, unfortunately, ended up wasting his ultimate and inadvertently causing 2 more deaths on that side, allowing Graham to grab a whole bunch of extra kills and a lot of money to come. Graham is in the perfect spot right now to continue that momentum.
Yeah, the gold is even at this point. They still didn't take towers, but now we're going to see Nidalee dodge the knockup, but he might not be able to pick up the kill. No. The rest of Revenant Steel is rotating towards that dragon, though. Flaker should be... he is there. I just didn't see him on the minimap. So Revenant Steel definitely putting prioritization on this Infernal Drake. The worst thing they can do is let it go to waste. It would definitely even out their late game pressure. It would definitely even out their late game presence having more Infernals, because as it does get later, DMT has the stronger scaling comp. But these snails coming out from Graham, he's going to land. We see a flash forward from Nidalee, but misses the taunt on everybody, but he's just going to chase it down. Flaker goes in, but he's going to taunt up, and that's a kill. Honey Badger will pick it up, and it looks like the disengage is going to come. Graham tried to go back in a little bit, but they were split.
They gotta add a lot more respect onto Graham's ability to hit these skill shots. He's proven time and time again throughout the match that he's been able to punish heavily when he can get some CC to land, and it has been extremely dangerous.
They're going in, though. We see the blade King onto aimbot. Aimbot uses the taunt trying to get the damage reduction, but that's not going to be enough. And an easy pickup. They're on
level 11 now. Ult's a lot stronger, and they're heading right for the Herald.
They don't have Flaker, so the smite battle will be in favor of DMT, but they're actually going to be able to push them off.
Oh, they caught out Nocturne. Oh,
there's a spell shield. Storm's going to go in, though. They're looking for it. They have double spell shield on the side of DMT. That's crazy. We do see first tower finally going down in that bot lane, though. So, yeah, now that with these double Infernos, Revenant still have a... They're not on as big of a timer as they were. They will be pretty okay going later into the game. They obviously still don't really want to. They're able to actually keep Honey Badger at bay. He hasn't been able to use too many offensive paranoias. I think he used 2. One was actually really good. He got the first kill onto Windspar, but after that, the one he engaged with Arctic turned obviously very poorly against their team. So this is what you want to be able to do against a Nocturne. You don't want to let the paranoia take out any of your team members by surprise. The fact that Revenant Steel have only died to it once is extremely good. And
everything that I'm seeing so far is neck and neck, and I feel like I'm starting to lose just that little bit of confidence that I had in DMT, because that advantage that they really needed early is slowly swifting and shifting just a little bit back and forth, and that's not exactly what I was envisioning when I was taking my gamble. I'm starting to feel a little bit more closer to the Steel side. What do you feel? I'm
still with Steel. Again, all the gold is still mostly on Nidalee. I think the closest player is, the closest player to him is 1700 down. And for the side of Revenant Steel, again, the mid laner and the bot lane carry both have the majority of the gold. They're 100 or 200 apart. So the gold for Revenant Steel is in the right spot. The gold for DMT is not necessarily in the best spot. Now again, a fed tank is still an okay thing, but if your damage, if your carries can't kill everybody, then what's the tank doing anyway?
They'll be taking quite the number of towers here. Wise decision, I'd say. Going to try to force them, since they know that there's a member at Remember at the tower at bot side, and there's a Lux who's keeping the Galio at bay. They're going to try to take a little bit of extra towers here and try to get some pressure, see where the enemy's going to stand at this point.
I mean, playing against Shen though, even if he's at the, even if you know he's at the bot lane, he still has
absolutely
the Stand United, so you can't necessarily make these like really risky plays all the time. Winspire is going to try to, was trying to steal the blue buff. He can't really engage. He's still 2 levels lower. They get the hook though. They're looking for him. There's the paranoia coming out. Drew Storm's making something happen. Headbutts Flaker out though. But it looks like we see the ult coming in from aimbot, and it's not going to hit on anybody. Flaker was forced to flash away, ignited down. He's just going to die, and that was a pretty bad hook. But there's a double ult from Graham. Once again, the heal does come out. They're looking for somebody. Nidalee did use the Stand United. They're going in. Winspar is a little bit tanky, but is it enough? Graham's on a rampage. Arctic's sitting him back. There's the heal that comes out from Storm, and they're looking for somebody. Nidalee is going to go down. That's another kill. There's another one. That's 3 kills over for Graham. We see aimbot's going to have to flash away. And once again, Revenants steal, they get a good pickup. The paranoia was using defensive, and yeah, they got Flaker with it, but again, they're on the back pedal. The Graham was landing everything he needs. He got a 2-man snare with a 2-man ult. Almost every ult that we've seen from Graham, except for the kill onto Drew Stomp in the beginning of the match, has been a multi-hit ult.
Just a big impact.
There's the hook, aimbot. They're looking for him. They get the snare down, but I think they're just teasing him a little bit. We see the TP coming out from Nidalee though, so we had double TPs toward that mid lane from DMT.
Graham has been in the hot seat right now. I would just say he's on fire. I don't even know how he hasn't switched his skin to the fire skin, but he should start thinking about it right now. He is completely taking over this game in every sense of the word. I don't know why he went for the water one, because this one is clearly on fire in every sense.
Yeah, it's surprising to see that Nidalee is going for this Sunfire cape. Even though you see 3 sets of Merc Treads on DMT's side, I still think that knowing that Graham is the big damage threat right now, although they do have 2 AD champions, and both Storm and Flaker are not behind in any sense, but obviously Graham is the one who's making the bigger impacts in the game. So getting that Sunfire at the moment, I don't know if that's the right move. Maybe it could be. I think I still would at least got a Spectre's Cowl just to mitigate a little bit of what's happening, because every team fight you see that Graham is there. Graham is 10 out of the 11 kills, so he's there, and he's obviously doing most damage. He has the most AoE for the team and everything like that. So I think at least the Spectre Cowl over the Chain Vest at the moment would have been the right decision.
I'll support you on this one. I do agree that going for the Cinder after usually is either one of those, you either take it first with intention, or you try to get it as an item somewhere along the line in some of the tank options. Usually see that on certain champions, but to see it in this situation, I'm kind of backing you up on that. I feel that Shen could probably take a better choice and a better option by going for maybe something that can leave him a little bit more impact into the laning phase. Like, I might even consider the fact that Cho'Gath has been struggling so far in light skirmishes. He might want to even consider abusing the fact that he has the Stand United, and maybe even consider a Rot Portal to try to get more pressure from his splits. But I don't know. We'll see something happening. Meanwhile, catch again by Graham.
We do see that Skew Gerbil had it all the way. They did take the Ocean Drake for Revenant Steel, for the 3rd Dragon. So they obviously have the better pressure everywhere else. You can definitely see the wards for Revenant Steel is much better organized. They have 3 pinks in the bot lane, as well as 2 or 3. There's a Paranoia. Graham might be in trouble. Stand United's coming in. Does he have flash? He's going to use the Zonias, but it's not enough. Taunt will come out. It looks like Graham's going to be shut down.
That's 800 gold for aimbot. They've been waiting all the game to build up Graham just so they can jump him when he didn't have flash. Great job of that. And nice, quick, clean, and very efficient.
That was just bad positioning on Graham's part, walking towards the river like that. And especially when aimbot was there and Paranoia is up. We see the taunt from Nidalee. Are they going to continue this engage? The ult comes out from Arctic. He tried to land the taunt, but it's not going to be enough. Double knockup. Oh my god, Storm's in trouble. Will flash away. He is ignited, though. They're under tower, but here comes Windspar. Does get the... Oh, it barely misses knockup. Nidalee is in trouble, though. Here comes the ult down. Looks like Storm's going to be on a killing spree right now. Here's a taunt. He gets a two-man taunt. He's still under tower. Windspar barely trying to survive. Throws a knockup down. So it's going to be a 1-for-1 right now. Revenants Steel, though, very low. They cannot continue this engage.
And that'll be them backing off right now. So light fight here. They got multiple catches on Nidalee, and he just accepted the first one when he got caught off right off the bat. He just, all right, screw it. Let's just try to make a big play out of this. And then it just continued and it continued and continued. And unfortunately, they didn't have Sivir with them at the time or anyone that can consecutively do damage. So it just didn't work out like they were hoping. In the end of it, it just led to him being caught a third time, and eventually that would lead to him dying right off the bat. And great job by Arctic, really persistently holding and predicting the movements by Nidalee and forcing him to give away his kill.
The bigger problem with that team fight is that Skewed Dribble doesn't have very much damage right now. Just sitting on the Stormrazor is going to be building it looks to be the rapid fire cannon. Like, it has no damage, and although the only real tankiness you see on the side of Revenant Steel right now would be Windspar, the Stairs Gauge just coming out on Flaker without much damage. Like, Aimbot is pure AP, but he's not much of not much of an auto attacker, and he didn't have a good catch onto anyone else. They were obviously split up. I mean, they almost killed Storm, but he flashed away, and they were able to re-engage for the kill onto Nidalee. You definitely need to get the damage off of Skewed Dribble. Now, Honey Badger will be building damage. He has the Dustblade, he has the Warrior Enchant, but he's pretty much like that bursty engage. He goes in, gets his damage down, and he kind of has to back out. Otherwise, again, he might just die if he stays in too long. So without Paranoia, you can't really see Honey Badger just trying to walk up into someone's face. He has a spell shield, but it only lasts for one spell. So yeah, it's going to be kind of hard if they don't get the perfect engage. That's like one of the issues with these kind of comps, is you need that engage tool. Well, their engage tool is an ult. Not necessarily the best thing in the world right now. Now, as the game does go...
They do have quite a number of complements to that ultimate. They have the Stand United now coming online, as well as in a moment Galio's ultimate coming online. So it's a bit of a lockout, as you mentioned.
There's the Paranoia. They're looking for Storm, but it does not matter. We're going to see the flash forward, though. There's the Stand United coming in. Honey Badger has a flash out. He's almost dead. Here comes the TP, though, from Windspar. Stormmate looking for the kill, and he's not going to find it. They're just going to turn their eyes on the aimbot, it looks like, and aimbot's going to go down. Stormmate will pick this one. Flaker comes in from behind. Honey Badger's going to go down as well as Nidalee. And who are they looking for next? They're just going to chase down Drew Storm, maybe Skewed Dribble. There's the Righteous Glory going in. He flashes forward for that.
Never mind.
And there you go. Again, there's the engage tool, but he's not ahead enough for this. He got instantly bursted down. He had a flash, and he was almost dead. Right, they were looking for Storm, and it just wasn't enough.
I completely agree with you here. I think they just tried to press the go button at an inopportune time. I think even if they were ahead, that was just not going to work out. He did not really utilize a lot of his ability to fight, and he ends up focusing, I'd say, the wrong target. As soon as he activated that ultimate, he went right for Lucian, and I think when he had Graham on the opposite side, I think he should have feared Graham instead. Forcing the fear onto him might have allowed a little bit of extra leeway and time for a little bit more abuse, since Graham did not have a flash up.
Graham flashed.
I think
Graham flashed. He flashed in that fight as soon as the Paranoia went off. When Honey Badger got onto Storm, we saw Graham flash.
The flash as well.
Say again.
Sorry about that. What I was trying to say was, Graham did do a flash. You were absolutely correct, and I thought it was Thresh was the only one that flashed. I was wrong.
No.
It was more than just him.
As soon as the Paranoia activated onto Storm, he got in there, and then we saw that the ult was coming out from aimbot. So Graham flashed to avoid that, and then there was no target for aimbot to land onto, so the engage was pretty much done after that point. And then again, Honey Badger had to flash out just to save himself. But they get the hook on the aimbot. There's the Paranoia coming out. They're looking for Flaker, but he gets pushed away by the headbutt, but he goes right back in. I don't know if this is what you want to do. Flaker's going to go down. Arctic needs to get in there, lands the hook on the one, but I don't know if they have enough damage. Graham with the ult causes the flash out of Skewed Dribble, and they're going to continue to fight this. It looks good for either or. There's one going to go down. There's two going to go down. That's a double kill for Windspar. There's three. There's four, and that's a 4-for-1. Even in a very bad situation, Revenants still were able to pick this up.
Synergy as well. DMT completely used all their skill shots against each other, and then that fight just slowly turned into a clown fiesta, as every side of that just completely didn't know what to do or what was going on. Now it's up to Drew Storm to buy more time, but I think this